Hi everybody. So I'm about 10 days past my stoma reversal surgery, so I thought I'd give you an update on how things are going. So I think the last time I said kind of split my recovery into three. So I had my body mobility, which has continued to progress really well. Brain's back functioning pretty much back to normal. And energy levels are really good. Overall, I'm still going to bed early, like sleeping, trying to sleep, at least 5 or 6 sleep cycles every night, which is 7.5 to 9 hours. And I'm still finding I need to nap during the day, even if it's just for 20 minutes. But sleep's kind of like the number one recovery strategy. So and it's so easy to do. So those 3 bits are going really good. The wound's healing really well, externally as far as I can see. It's still quite sore, but not enough to impede mobility or anything like that. But I think the internal pain's quite good because it's a flag for me not to push it too hard physically in terms of doing things. So that's good. And then toilet stuff's I think it's going to be a bit of a journey, probably mentally more than anything else. So I don't think I said in the last video, but once I'd been discharged from hospital, I was probably having to go to the toilet like every hour, or feeling like I was having to go to the toilet every hour. And that included through the night. So I was having to get up like 4 or 5 times through the night. And then it would get to maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'd get a straight maybe 2.5 or 3 hours of uninterrupted sleep. So that's been a challenge because, as I just said, sleep's the most important healing strategy, and my sleep's been broken by me feeling like I've needed to go to the toilet. So I had, I think, maybe 5 or 6 days after I got discharged were probably my lowest point, which was all connected to being able to go to the toilet and not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel, and it's just been really difficult because it's all, I think, there's a number of things that my body's having to relearn. So there's like your poo reflex. There's an official name for it. It escapes me at this point in time, but it's having to relearn how to do that. And it's not one reflex. It's actually got 2 parts to it, which I can tell you about in another video. So there's like the reflex stuff, knowing when it needs to give the signals, and it doesn't need to give the signals when anything just hits the bottom of my bowel. Like I shouldn't be needing to go to the toilet 15 times a day. I should only need to go once or twice like normal people. That's like the ultimate goal. And most importantly, knowing the difference between wind and poo, which has actually been interesting and really hard, and there's been a few tears, I'm not gonna lie. I think there was a couple of days in particular I was particularly clingy with Stacey because I was probably feeling at my lowest and feeling the most vulnerable and just needed a cuddle, and it was just pants basically. However, I kind of have this pattern in life where if I have a few days of like super low, or something's not gone my way and I get angry, then the next it only lasts for a couple of days, and then after that, I don't have this internal dialogue, but I kind of get this sort of, right, that's it. I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. What can I do? So I woke up on Friday basically feeling like that, like I'm not putting up with this shit anymore, literally. What can I do, even though it's all about educating internal systems, which I can't do consciously. So I just started transitioning my diet back to normal, because I'd been doing a restricted diet to ease my bowel back in. I started doing much longer walks, which helps the bowels move. I just started transitioning into doing some of the activities that I would normally do, and I just felt like I had a bit more control and that I was doing things to help myself. It gave me something short term to focus on. So I don't know if, doing that stuff will help. It might just be that I need more time. I mean, it's only been a week and a half since the surgery, since everything's been joined up. And actually, it's probably only been a week since I've actually done a poo, because it took a few days. It took 2 days from the point of surgery for anything to come out the other end, just because they were in shock for a couple of days. So anyway, that's where I am, kind of. But I probably hit rock. I hit the bottom for a couple of days. But I decided to do a few things in the hope that it will help, and I'm just waiting to see if those things are going to have an impact. So yeah, it's been hard. This is the bit that I didn't think about, I didn't prepare for necessarily, and no one really told me about that this bit would be hard either. It's just not something that people talk about much. So I don't want to say it's all been smooth and easy, because actually retraining that part of your body that's normally happens automatics been probably one of the hardest things as part of this journey, with the exception of chemo, and being told during a pandemic that I had cancer. Those are probably the top 3 things. So this is the last one. So hopefully over the next few days, the things that I've been doing have an impact, and mean that my toilet roll bill starts to reduce, because it was 0 and now it's massive. So that's all just now for you folks. I'll catch up with you in the next video, hopefully when my number of trips to the toilet have reduced. See you later.